One person is dead this morning, several others hospitalized after a car plowed into pedestrians on the Strip. The very latest on this terrible crash is next.
Rita is now a powerful Category 5 hurricane with winds topping 170 miles an hour. We'll have the latest.
I was watching myself on the TV. Ironically, JetBlue has direct television, and we were able to see Flight 292 headed in an image of my plane.
Everyone walks away from this emergency landing at LAX. Hear from the passengers. Incredible news coming up.
Well, today, fall starts at 3:23. It'll feel a little warmer than it was yesterday. However, this is normal for this time of year. So that's good news. More on your neighborhood weather coming up. Eyewitness traffic, no problems to start our Thursday morning commute. We are accident-free on our freeways and surface streets. Give you a complete look at your commute all morning long coming up.
It is officially fall. Good morning. Thursday, September 22nd. I'm Charlotte Evans.
And I'm Sherry Swensk sitting in for Casey Smith. Thanks a lot for joining us. A horrible accident on the Las Vegas Strip is making national headlines, and police want answers. Around 5 o'clock yesterday, a man's car ran onto the sidewalk, hitting 14 people, killing at least one of them. Channel 8 Eyewitness News reporter Laura Berrh is live at University Medical Center with more. Laura.
Well, Sherry, 8 of those people are recovering here at UMC, and 5 others are recovering at Sunrise Trauma Center. Now, police say the driver may have been homicidal. They say he may have used his car as a weapon. Dawn Matson expected a few surprises when she came to visit Las Vegas, but what she saw Wednesday evening was beyond shocking.
I was just sitting at the window watching the fountains, and I heard what I thought was 3 shots, pops, plum, pop, pop.
Matson was one of hundreds of tourists strolling the Strip yesterday evening when a car jumped over the curb, mowing down 14 pedestrians. Just after 5 p.m. Wednesday, a burgundy Buick drove over the sidewalk between Bally's and the Paris on Las Vegas Boulevard, hitting 14 people before crashing into an embankment. An undercover police officer who happened to be dining in a nearby restaurant heard the crash and was able to arrest the driver.
We've not ruled out that this was an intentional or unintentional act. It's a homicide investigation with the vehicle being the weapon that's used.
Though it's still early in the investigation, police say they'll continue searching for clues.
The people who were injured, we care very much about everyone who visits our city, as well as anyone who lives here. This is, again, just very unfortunate, and we're going to do a very thorough job to get to the bottom of what occurred.
27-year-old Stephen Ressa of Rialto, California, is in custody at the Clark County Detention Center. Now, according to police, he's currently charged with 1 count of murder and 12 counts of attempted murder. Now, police are still looking into toxicology reports to see if he was under the influence at the time. They're also looking into possible motives. Live from University Medical Center, Laura Berrh for Eyewitness News.
Laura, thank you very much. Hurricane Rita is a Category 5 and she's closing in right now. Emergency management officials along the Gulf Coast states are watching her every move this morning. Forecasters think that Rita will hit the Texas and Louisiana coastlines. Emergency crews want to be ready.
We're also looking at the same kinds of requests that we would have received for Katrina and what we might be able to provide, again, in the way of transportation, humanitarian aid, or support to local law enforcement.
Now, he says Maryland Emergency Management Agency and the National Guard were on the ground in Louisiana and Mississippi within a day of Hurricane Katrina. Evacuations are currently underway. Rita is expected to make landfall in Texas this weekend.
Nevada's Task Force 1 is ready and waiting to help out once Hurricane Rita hits. The team left Las Vegas yesterday, and they're now awaiting orders from FEMA in San Antonio. Many of them just got home last week from helping out in New Orleans. They could be deployed in the region for as long as 2 weeks. So far, U.S. intelligence has not picked up any signs that terrorists are planning another attack, despite the disaster readiness gaps exposed by Hurricane Katrina. Robert Mueller says there's nothing suggesting any attack would be triggered that perhaps was not in the staging process before. But he says the Bureau's not letting down its guard. The FBI has sent 500 of its 12,000 agents to the New Orleans area to help local police and monitor billions of dollars in federal reconstruction contracts.
Passengers from one JetBlue flight are counting their blessings and praising their pilot this morning after a spectacular spectacular emergency landing in Los Angeles. Eyewitness News spoke to one of those passengers from that plane. Ashanti Blaize joins us with the very latest. Ashanti, what a nail-biter.
Oh, yes, very much so. Good morning, Charlotte. Well, there were 139 passengers on that JetBlue Airbus, and Janet Jacobs was just one of them. For more than 2 hours, the plane circled Los Angeles International Airport, and Jacobs says the passengers watched the whole event unfold on their in-flight satellite televisions. JetBlue Flight 292 left Burbank's Bob Hope Airport at 3:17 yesterday afternoon. 139 passengers on the A320 Airbus were headed to JFK International Airport in New York. JetBlue officials say the pilots noticed that a landing gear indication light was on, signaling a possible problem with landing gear. Pilots discovered the plane's front wheels were turned sideways and they wouldn't retract after takeoff. The back landing gear was also out, but those wheels were in the correct position. Janet Jacobs says the moments leading up to the emergency landing were tense, but the crew seemed to have everything under control.
They kept their options open. They talked to everybody, the pilots in New York, Burbank. They had to decide what to do because of this freak thing that happened with the wheels.
The pilots were able to safely land the plane by balancing it on the back wheels once they touched the ground. The front wheels burst into flames, destroying the landing gear as soon as it touched down. Now, Jacobs says all of the passengers screamed and cheered once the plane finally landed. She says she thanked every firefighter and policeman there and kissed the pilot on her way off the plane.
I bet she did.
Oh, yes.
Merrick would like to kiss him, too. Thank you very much.
Well, the much anticipated government rebate checks are in the printing press as we speak. Some 2 million people will receive these checks. A job so big the state had to contract it out of state in a top secret facility in Logan, Utah. Eyewitness News got an exclusive look at the monumental task. These machines are printing 300 checks a minute and about $300 million total.
Rebate shows Nevadans that they can really count on their elected officials to do the right thing with taxes. In this case, more sales tax and gaming taxes came in than were anticipated, and the governor and the legislature agreed Nevadans deserve to get that surplus returned to them.
The governor's office hopes to have the checks in the mail by early October. 5:07, it'll soon be tougher for teens to get and keep their driver's licenses. A handful of new regulations will go into effect October 1st. The goal is twofold: to prevent deadly accidents involving teens and to make the roads safer for all of us. The minimum age to get a license will be 16. To get the license, teens will have to have a learner's permit for 6 months and log the dates and times of their behind-the-wheel training. Teens under 18 will not be allowed to drive their friends around for 90 days after receiving their driver's licenses. A curfew will also be put into effect from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m.
Laws are specifically targeted to avoid the risky behavior. Teenage crash rates go up at night. Teenage crash rates are highest in the first 6 months of driving.
You can find out more information on the new rules on our website at KLAStv.com.
A home invasion in Henderson has revealed some startling concerns regarding 911. Henderson police say the city is growing and there are not enough 911 operators to answer all the emergency lines. The problem could have proved fatal when police say 2 men broke into a home Monday night. The homeowner dialed 911, but nobody answered for 1 minute and 18 seconds. During that time, police say the robber used a rock to smash a bedroom window and enter the house.
At that time, we had 3 dispatchers in our dispatch center. Those dispatchers are responsible for 250,000 people in the city of Henderson.
The city plans to hire 4 more dispatchers, but says it is having trouble finding qualified applicants. The homeowner from Friday's home invasion was not injured, but did shoot and injure the suspects.
America West and US Airways will look a little different at McCarran International Airport next week. The two are merging facilities early in the week, and Las Vegas is the first to undergo the transition. The merger of both America West and US Airways makes it the 5th largest airline in the country. The merger will create the first full-service, low-cost nationwide airline offering a service to more than 200 cities across the country.
Time right now is 5:09. We're going to check in with Justin. A moment ago we said it's fall, but if you love summer, technically it's still summer.
We'll get to fall this afternoon, right, Justin?
We're hanging on for dear life.
Yes,
We've got a couple more hours or so before we actually get to fall. But yeah, today essentially the first day of fall. The autumnal equinox coming here in just a little while. We'll talk more about that in a few minutes. Right now, temperature is really not too bad. In fact, a very seasonal at this time. So you can see that things are not too bad, not too shabby out there. East Flamingo currently 70 degrees at Cunningham Elementary, also 70 at Owens over at Walter Bracken. Want to show you this, our humidity numbers are way down. Remember yesterday morning we were in the 70, 80%, even close to 90% in some areas. Now we're in the 30 and 40%, also some 50% humidity readings there. But temperatures about the same as they were yesterday morning, in the 60s and lower 70s for you. So again, starting to dry out just a tad bit as we get a little bit closer to the weekend. Let's take a look at our day planner for today, and you can see 86 by noontime, 92 for our afternoon high, so we'll be just a couple of degrees warmer than we were yesterday. And again, fall starts at 3:23 officially our time this afternoon. Now we don't have 12 hours of daytime and nighttime. That actually won't happen until Monday, so happens a couple of days after the actual autumnal equinox, but pretty close to it today, 6:29 and 6:37, and still good air quality. Only made it to 90 yesterday, so still a couple degrees below our normal, but that was warmer from our earlier high or the day before where we saw 82. Satellite and radar picture, most of this moisture well off toward the east of us now. We're going to see more of a westerly flow sort of drying us out. We do have another low that's coming in off the coast of California that's going to change our weather for the weekend in terms of the later part of the weekend, just with breezes and just a real slight chance of some showers, mainly in the mountain areas. Again, that's later on to the weekend, but for today we're going to see a real nice westerly flow to usher in fall. Let's take a look quickly around the rest of the country, and we just want to show you here. This is Hurricane Rita, Category 5 hurricane, 170 mile-an-hour winds. It was 175 just a few hours ago, but the latest update from the National Hurricane Center still saying a Category 5 hurricane, saying some weakening is possible, and by the time it makes landfall Friday night into Saturday in the Texas coast, it could be a Category 3 hurricane. So we'll continue to watch that for you. 3-day forecast, 92 today, a little bit warmer for tomorrow as we get into the weekend, and then things start to slowly cool down by the end of the weekend. So it actually will be above normal to start our first full day of fall tomorrow. Now let's take a look at Skywitness traffic and see if there are any problems on the roadways. We've been accident free all morning long. We had an earlier accident about 3 hours ago, well to the north up near Mesquite on I-15, but that's not causing any problems at this time, and nothing here around the Las Vegas area. You can see 15 in Sahara, no problems to speak of. Charleston Curve also looking good on 5-1595 as you're heading in toward downtown Las Vegas, and I-15 northbound and southbound, things looking pretty good as well. Coming up in a little bit, we're going to talk about an exotic luxury car dealership that's opening tonight. So if you have an extra $200,000, you know, let us know, because I'm looking for a new car.
Yeah. Let me check my wallet.
Please.
Thanks, Justin. In the event of an emergency, pets in our valley have a place they can go. We'll show you where you may take your four-legged friend for refuge.
Another U.S. soldier dies while fighting the war in Iraq. We'll have the latest.
And Vice President Dick Cheney is about to go into surgery soon. Find out why.
You're watching Southern Nevada's #1 morning news with Charlotte Evans, Casey Smith, neighborhood weather with Sherry Swensk, and exclusive Skywitness 8 traffic. It's not just news. It's Channel 8 Eyewitness News this morning. Neighborhood weather on Eyewitness News is brought to you by Finley Cadillac Saab, located in the Valley Auto Mall.
Time right now is 5:15. Another U.S. soldier has died while serving in Iraq. The military says the soldier was killed, 6 others wounded last night when a bomb went off near their patrol. It happened in Baghdad, in a neighborhood where several insurgent attacks against Americans have taken place. More than 1,900 Americans have died in Iraq since the beginning of the war.
The Senate Judiciary Committee will vote on Judge John Roberts for Chief Justice of the U.S. Supreme Court today. Senator Arlen Specter, Senate Majority Leader Bill Frist, and Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid met with the president yesterday to speak about who to nominate to fill the Supreme Court position vacated by retiring Justice Sandra Day O'Connor. But Senator Specter asked President Bush to ask O'Connor to stay on the bench through the next term. O'Connor has already said she would stay until a successor is confirmed. Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg says she doesn't like the idea of being the only female justice on the High Court, but says not any woman will do. The retirement of O'Connor has fueled